Hi, Greg.
Hello, Nicole.
Welcome. How are
That's
you?
this very moment I'm good. I am. It's nighttime for me. I'm drinking hot chocolate.
And where are you right now?
I'm in Thailand, in Phuket.
All
Very nice.
right.
Yeah, and I came from Florida, your place, right to
Yes.
here, just before this kind of thing happened on the planet.
Wild ride, right?
Yeah, man. So that's basically what's the date today? It's about 8. So that's pretty much a month ago, exactly, more or less.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
So,
remember getting that flight and it concerned me. I was a little bit like, I wonder if the shit's going to hit the fan, you know? I was like,
yeah, or whether or
yeah.
not you're even going to be able to fly. So,
Yeah.
good place to be
But
stuck, huh?
yeah, it's really nice, man, because we're doing a little bit of work, not too much. There's only a few of us left. And there's a few clients here. So it's been really, really nice, to be honest. And I've been doing what you told me to do, getting my shit together online,
All
talking about
right.
business.
Well, so let's jump into this Dharma
Yeah.
sessions, and in turn, you can talk about getting your shit together. Um,
Okay.
Give me a little recap on who you are, what you do, and really like how you found this passion project of yours.
Okay, so who am I? Greg Mannion. I'm originally from Liverpool, England. And for the last 14, 15 years, I've lived in Barcelona, Spain. About, yeah, it's 2 years ago, let's say 3 years ago, I got into breathwork a little bit through Wim Hof. Then about 2 years ago, I went, yeah, it was 2 years ago, pretty much to the day almost. I went to Tony Robbins and a Wim Hof event in the same month. And the reason why it was quite poignant, there were two together, was the Tony Robbins style. I liked it. It was perfect time in my life to be like, I knew I wanted something else. I always had abilities and passions, but it's putting it in a direction. Tony Robbins is very good with that. So I went there, enjoyed that, had this like, vibe. And then the same month I went to Wim Hof and I had a real breakthrough that day. I loved it. I'd done it before, but not with 200 people. And I had like tears in the eyes, the release, but in the best way possible, and realizing how strong the breath was. And looking at the stage and just looking at the people and the way it was organized, I'm like, I can do that. And I can do it
So,
better than them. Not with like the Wim Hof thing,
yeah, yeah,
the whole style of it. It wasn't like, there was a little bit of like, I could do that better. I had to have that confidence, but it was a passion in me that I liked it so much, just the feeling. I'm a big fan of like letting shit out. I need all
yeah.
the things I do. I need them. Walk straight to the front of the stage, and I'm basically started doing the Wim Hof method. From there, I met Niraj, who does Soma, very similar method, but it adds meditation to breath work.
Yeah.
I put my own twist on that. Haven't looked back since, really. I do breath work and meditation. I've done them all over the world. And we met through Facebook maybe 6 months ago. And I was coming to America and I said I was coming over. Would you like me to do some workshops? You were like, yeah. And it was amazing. I've been at your place
Yeah,
twice now
yeah.
because I'm doing so much traveling. And you're an amazing host and I love your place. And that's
Well, we
how
love
we
having
met.
you.
It's cool, man. But
And we've
really
been
nice. And while we're
tapping
doing
into
this,
all your digital content, which is good. And I'll share that with this too. But tell me how you got in, and some of this we've talked about, but we're gonna pretend like we haven't. Tell me what made you choose the Wim Hof path, or like what made you get into breathwork in the first place? Like, why did you choose that, or what was going on in your life before? What's your
I
journey to make this into your career?
Yeah, okay. So I still don't really know, but there's something to do with that meditation side that I always like to go to the emotion. I liked to meditate when I discovered it about 4 years ago through doing chakras. It was my chiropractor who got me into that, surprisingly, to release. And it's like anything, you feel it for the first time and you release. You're like, okay, this works. It's not something weird. It's not something I particularly have to try out. So I enjoyed it. I got into it. But the reason why I was going on that path was because 7.5 years ago, I'd stopped drinking. I had a real problem, complete and utter, ticked every box of the alcoholic box. Had a terrible couple of years before I finally stopped. And I went to like 12-step group with AA basically.
Or,
And that really helped me. It saved me because I asked for help. I asked for help, and that was the life changer. It took me a year of going there before I actually asked for help. Went in, I did the steps, I did the work. Meditation was part of it, but we didn't go very deep at all, and I didn't learn much. But I did understand that it was a spiritual program underneath. I really got that quite quickly, and I shared a lot in there. I did what I had to do. I don't really go very often now, but the principles I still hold dear to. But what it got me to do was to go back It was 37 when I stopped drinking. It got me to go back to being like the teenager, the young man, the kid that I wanted to be. It was nothing about, I'm a terrible person, I've got to change and all this. No, I just wanted to go back to the person who didn't need to self-destruct every
Sure.
single day. As well as there was some good moments in there, but the last few years of my drinking life was really, it was a joke. It was horrible. It was just
But
horrible.
you've been in the music and the creative scene pretty much your whole
Yeah,
professional life.
yeah. Well, basically, it's not like I professionally wise, no, the creative side of me and all that type of stuff coming out was since I was a kid. I've always been playing and acting a bit and singing, and it's nothing I've done professionally. But with the acting, I eventually, when I was younger and I was in school and a little bit afterwards, I did bits, but nothing major. Always singing, always playing around. And then later, when I stopped drinking again, I got into an amateur theatrical group in Barcelona. And from there, I went to another group, and we essentially did lots of classes. But I did one or two small little plays and things and rehearsed for plays. And I enjoyed a hell of a lot getting into that creative process. And I sing a bit and I play ukulele and stuff. It's minor, but it gives me a great deal of pleasure. And that's my creative side coming out a
Yeah.
lot. So I've tried my best to bring in my, I say the word madness, but it's not. It's just this creative and energy side into the meditation. And that's where I think the breath work and the meditation, I found that with Wim, and it fits for me. And it was also because of his style that got me into it. Whereas you don't have to be a guru. You don't have to really know every single thing. You just have to feel it. And like anything in life, if you feel it and it's good for you, then you can take it forward. And I still, to this day, don't have a definitive answer as to why I do what I do. But you met me and we've done stuff together, and I have a passion for it that I just enjoy. I just enjoy getting people in this state and talking about emotions. But coming into my class, and within the first 2 minutes, they're jumping around like this,
Yeah.
shaking their arms, and then they're talking to each other about emotions, people they've never met. I purposely get people together who have never met. And it changes things, man. And then you go deeply into the really beautiful, beautiful technique that I use, Soma, and it's magic, man. It's really good.
Yeah. I mean, you have a gift to kind of break people out of their comfort zones and
Yeah.
and embrace deeper healing, but in a really fun way. So that's what we love about your classes. And I think it's interesting to watch because you can really like it's such a perfect fit for you, and you
Yes.
embody it in such a passionate way that it's hard to imagine you doing anything else.
I know it's weird, and I have had this conversation a few times. Like, why am I doing this? What is it? And I suppose, yeah, like this interview being about that. What is your passion project? And I look underneath it, underneath like a title or a thing, and I have to have that now because I'm thinking about promotion and what to do. But underneath, it's about connection.
Yeah.
It's always about connection, but in whatever way that fits for you. But luckily, I'm quite a good communicator and getting people together because I genuinely like it. Even sometimes I'm going to my workshops because I need to go, you know, or I can't be bothered, I'm not sure. I get in there and it's like I jump around, they jump around, not every time, but it helps. And then to get people twisted, and I do this because you just look at things from a different angle. You're talking to people in a different way than you normally would. And then I'm leading people on a journey, which I was just out. Obviously everyone's pretty much on quarantine and us too, and it's nighttime. And I just walked outside for 5 minutes because I've been out once in 2 weeks, although I'm in paradise. And I was looking at the moon and it was so nice, man. It was just beautiful. Little moments like that. If I can bring them into a meditation, it doesn't sound like much, but you've been there as well. It's
Sure.
great, but it's like, it's not even just me, it's anyone who can help. I always say to me, look, man, I'm guiding you and we're doing this, but it's you that goes wherever you go in this daydream world. Huge fan of daydreams. So if I can guide people there a little bit, and I'm usually got my eyes closed when I'm doing the meditation anyway, and then we just drift into whatever planet. Like I just drifted there into flying above the clouds because I was doing it coming from you, coming over to here. I flew
Yeah.
over Liverpool where I was born, and the world's such a strange place. I'm in the plane with internet, messaging my family. I'm like, do you realize I'm just flying over your house? I mean, it's weird, but I've been doing so much that I swear to God, I just want to keep flying. So I had a moment where I was like, shit, man, I can't wait to get on a plane again. But
Yeah.
my point is, I like to bring
Feels like
that.
forever right now, right?
Yeah. But
From
I
a
like
different
to bring
place.
that imagination and that kind of eccentricity, if you like, into it, and then just let people play. The biggest and the best thing, like with the acting, bits of acting I've done, it to me was all about playing. When it got too serious and it got to be a career, and Greg, I think this role might be good for you. Why don't you try it? And I'd go, and it was just the strangest atmosphere in front of cameras. And it wasn't me. put me in a little theater with a few friends and playing around. That's great because you're still communicating. It was always about that. Even when I was a kid, I would be there screaming, shouting, doing things, but playing with other people. So if you're on the stage and the audience is here, you've got to be able to feel the audience. And I think that really relates with what I'm doing. So if I'm emotional about the things I'm doing, if I'm talking about them with passion, then Mary Jane or whoever at the back of the room is going to feel it. And I've been told that a lot. And so that makes a difference to me. I think that's one of the reasons I like it.
Well, I think you do a good job of relating to people. And I'm curious to know, I mean, what I've been asking is what people are using this time for as a new beginning, like what you're creating or birthing or changing or evolving. But I mean, I guess your affinity for daydreams, what are you daydreaming in this isolation period?
Weird isolation. Okay, well, I'll give you a quick snippet of the isolation. So I'm in this room with the other people who are working here, 4 or 5 of us, and then 4 or 5 Thai staff. And it's super cool because we all just seem to be really easygoing, nice people, I would say. Now out the door, I've got this beautiful area, and it's like we're locked down kind of, but we can go out in the daytime. But it's paradise way around. I've got like a jacuzzi, we got food, we share that, we got all the fields, we got the gym. So it doesn't feel that isolating, but I suppose mentally it is. But my bad back has come back, and I'm like, okay, there's something underneath which I'm like slightly worried about. But on a creative side, and kind of what am I doing? I've definitely done the exact conversation we had in your kitchen, which like, Greg, you're my friend, but I'm gonna fucking kick you in the ass if you don't do this, you don't do that. So my Facebook group of 25 people is now nearly 700. So
Awesome.
Greg's done the
Go
stuff.
Greggy.
Yeah, so I've done a lot online, and I'm really enjoying it. And I've got a few people. It's still, I wouldn't say it's strange because even this now, I really enjoy it, and it's working out. I'm doing exactly what you're doing as well, with podcasts and things with people on specific subjects. And I like it because what had surprised me is the connection amongst everyone is a different way, but it's even more than it was before. Somehow, although you and I, we were quite on social media a lot and trying to connect with people and business things. But if anything, I'm right in the middle of developing how essentially I'm going to go for the subscription group model and do, without worrying too much about a course, but do all the things I do the live, do the extra things, put meditations in there, add as much value as humanly possible. So I am growing, but I'm giving the people a ridiculous amount of material and live things. And I feel good about it because it's a community that I want to create. And for them as well. So that's the plan I've got. The website is pretty much ready. Few little tweaks, and I'm working a lot. It's so saying yesterday I should give myself credit more for the things I am doing online because I'm not 100% comfortable with the computers and the download this to change that to that, and I get frustrated, but I'm getting there slowly. I'm a one-man band in theory with lots of people helping on the edge, so I'm doing a lot of that, and it feels good. And it's something, to be honest, that I went to that Tony Robbins thing and the Wim Hof, and then I saw with the Soma technique how they used it online, and that is one of the plans. And now it's a real tool that I can help people with online. And my mission, as I've spoken to you, is traveling a lot anyway. So it's not being bad in that respect. It's given me time to do that. I'm happy.
So what's one thing that you need to shift to get out of your own way? You've
Good
done a
question.
lot and you're talking about changing some of that, but what's like another thing that's kind of
Good question. Let me
lacking?
really, really think about it. It has to be procrastination, but procrastination in what sense? I mean, I've got to let my own kind of trying to do a million things at once, let that just get out the way and go for what I really like and enjoy, which is like yesterday making these videos, and I just got on with it. I didn't think too much. I got on with it. I wasn't trying to, that's it. I think trying not to be a perfectionist. Some people know me, like, oh, you're not a perfectionist, but I actually am. So if I can really wipe that away, get that out of the way, it would just make me do what I see other people doing. It's not perfect, but they're
Sure.
doing it. And I have to respect, even if I see things, I'm like, it's not so good. I'm not, people are doing it. So I am starting that. I'm starting that more. And on a physical sense, as in I've traveled around the world twice in the past 6 months. It's weird. And I'm doing lots of things. So physically I do it. I don't have a problem. But the other side, which is what is needed in this world right now and viable, and it's a business, I need to get out of my way the perfection side and just keep moving forward and don't worry so much. I do tend to worry more than I would probably like to admit what people think, you know. So
What people, is that you're worried about what people think or what you're creating, or both?
Both. I think I want it to be good. I really do want it to be good. Like my brother's making the music, and it's great, man. But we're still going back and forth. And I'm doing a track, and I've done quite a few. I've only released like 2 because it's not quite right. I just want to get that breath of sound, and I want to make that a bit like that. So that form of perfectionism, I don't know if a lot of people who are entrepreneurs or starting their own business have it. I have to get quite a large amount of that out the way. I'd say that's the main thing, to let
Or,
me just be to let me make mistakes, man. To let me
yeah.
make mistakes, because I do it in classes a lot, but I don't seem to be comfortable yet online or with a recording. It has to be perfect. It's bullshit. Doesn't
Well,
happen.
you are super comfortable with it. I mean, you deliver super comfortably. You're
Mhm.
just being a perfectionist about the finished product, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
it's not getting you out there, but it's the after.
Yeah, it's the after part, the finished product. And there is, like, if we're going to go to the other layer, I'm like pretty relaxed and confident and everything. But underneath, I'm still concerned about what people are thinking and how they're looking. And I did a video yesterday for a breathing technique for coronavirus. When you're suffering from it, this
Yeah.
may help a
Uh-huh.
bit. And there's a doctor who did it. But what I did, I made the mistake of writing prevention, okay? Because he mentioned it and I wasn't thinking, I did it too quick. Prevention and ease symptoms. Now, it will ease symptoms because it goes through a phase of pneumonia, with this the really
Sure.
serious point. But there's many breathing techniques you could do. Essentially, I thought, well, I'll do that as well and put it out there and I'll reach some people. But I'd left that word on, and some people in these Facebook groups, they like to moan anyway, and they picked up on it straight away,
Yeah.
like, oh, no, no, oh, no. And it did make me feel bad. I was like, oh, it put me off doing more. But luckily, after a few hours, I was like, forget it. Don't worry, just do
Yeah.
another one. And that one is fine.
One little edit of the name, and something that I talk about a lot with my clients is that, you know, 10% of people make 90% of the noise. So that's
Yeah,
always true for customer service, for client work, for anything. And it's kind of
that's
like par for the course, but
that's a good point. It really is. But it's like, because they had a valid point, but it is basically, when you're doing something you want to actually help, but then it looks a bit weird and it comes across the wrong way. You're like, oh shit.
sure.
But online, I don't know what your experience is, but if I am going to push this, which I am, do more and more and more, then I'm going to have to remember what you've just said, because there's going to be a lot of people who dis-ear and thinking everything, and
Yeah.
I'm going to make mistakes and it's not going to be right sometimes. So I have to be prepared for that in an online setting.
It's the power of reviews too, you know, because the people who love you and adore you often don't leave reviews, and then the people who have some sort of issue or problem or maybe less happy are the ones who are usually the most vocal. So
Yeah,
especially for brick and mortar businesses, we see that a lot. You know, this is
right.
the curse of things like Yelp and whatever. But
But
um,
it's both on that sense for myself and other people who might be on these interviews and doing similar things. You have to ask for the reviews, and I'm not
yeah,
too shy with that. Luckily, they've all been good, and that's where I feel good. But I know that will be some coming that aren't so good, and they'll get out there, and you have to
well,
accept it. So, got to ask.
you may not ever see it like that, but people just don't think to express gratitude in a way that translates to the media often. You know, maybe they say it,
Right.
but they don't think about doing it on a formal setting. So you just have to remember that for every thumbs down on your YouTube video, you have 100 thumbs up, right? So
Yeah.
that's the part that matters. there's
No, but so
there's
true.
always going to be the critic.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And because there's always, no matter whoever you are, if you have confidence or not, there's always the self-critic that'll
Yeah,
come and knock on the door. But you're pretty good with that. You're always moving forward.
well,
You're
I mean,
always
I
doing
try
things,
to. It doesn't
like,
mean that I don't have days that, you know, we get
yeah,
our 3-star reviews or whatever. You know, I mean, you
yeah.
can't please everyone, and that's a big challenge. But
But I wanted to ask you though. I've noticed you're doing things online, or you're doing deliveries for the community. Because I've been to your
yeah,
place. That's
we're
nice.
just doing curbside pickup, so it's a little bit of a and actually everybody's been really super loving and positive, and that's great. Um, we're just doing that 2-hour window a week,
Cool.
so everybody's coming to pick it up. But it's just a shift in the model, and
But that's impressive, man.
we're
That's
trying.
impressive.
Yeah,
And number one, keeping it going, because a lot of businesses will go under, but you're keeping it going, and
yeah.
you'll come back out the other side stronger.
Yeah,
But I
for
know.
sure. I mean, we've been here for almost 6 years, so I'm pretty confident
Mm,
that we'll come out on the other side. But it's an adjustment for sure, and you have to kind of focus on the good stuff and the good feedback and the gratitude and the
yeah,
positivity, because this is a really easy time to get stuck in that victim
Yeah.
aggressive, negative mindset, because it's what a lot of people are doing. And some of it is rightfully so, but it doesn't help us with our vibration either, you know?
No, so true, but that's why these interviews and things are good. And also, I think it's going to be a test of everyone's strength, how long it lasts. I've got in
Sure.
my head, like to the end of May, things are going to be pretty bad everywhere. Now, what happens June, July, August, I don't know. But I mean, yeah,
Yeah.
that's going to be a real test of everyone,
Yeah.
how financially and mentally, I don't know.
Yeah. And it's the reason why things like, virtual breath work and healing sessions and opportunities for personal growth during this are so important. I think this is a really huge window for people to take care of themselves if they haven't previously.
Yeah, and that's something I actually noticed. So I am gonna do these like charging a very small amount, I think, for some of the sessions. And I'm doing some free ones. I always have to do
Mhm.
something free. But what I noticed straight away on these calls of the sessions online I've been doing is how people want to connect and talk and say to me, "Oh, thank you very much. That was great,"
Yeah.
and that's the beauty of it. But everyone would be talking on these Zoom calls, and it was superb, man. And that's when I realized the power of community now, but in general. And I wanted that. But from the very beginning, I wanted that. And someone who's helping me was like, then you should do that, and that's the road I'm going, because people, what is it? Yeah, you can meditate. Okay, in the past, for so yoga or meditation, you could meditate or go to a yoga class in your area. But
Sure.
now, if you look at a different way, you can go all over the world. And
Yeah.
it really is like that, because it's opened people's perception to that. Even myself, although I was pretty much on it and like doing things all over, you can actually do this now with people all over the world, and it's changing the mindset, which is
Yeah.
really nice.
Totally. And I think that there's a lot of silver linings to this whole
Yeah,
scenario we're in. And just even to be able to connect, I mean, we could have done this before the time of Corona, but just to be able to connect across the world and share it with people across the world and talk about, all these different things that we're doing here, you're doing there, and how they kind of bridge together. And
and what
it's an opportunity for a lot of inspiration, I think, for people.
yeah, I think so. And then on that note though, so what is it with these calls and interviews that you want to do then? What is it, bringing people together who are starting things off or
Yeah.
continuing?
Well, so the big thing is, what I do at the Dharma Hive is kind of an extension of what I do with Wild Ginger, which is really work with people who are living their life purpose. They're living their soul purpose. They're doing something that they're really passionate about, that they really love and believe in, that gives back to the community, that gives back to them intrinsically. Um, and so I really just wanted to celebrate that in a meaningful way, and to talk to people who are you know embodying what they teach, what they do, what they live, and reminding people that you really can do what you love and be rewarded for it, and financially stable and prosperous and happy, and that there's no reason to do anything different if you've discovered this passion. Like, if how it is with, I feel like this with my client work and with my business. I couldn't imagine doing anything else. This is what I would pay to do, right? Like, I would
Yeah,
pay to do it, even though I also now get paid to do it. And that's the
yeah,
same
yeah,
thing with you, and everybody on these calls are all people who are really, they're not just um, going to work and complaining about it afterward. They're doing roles that they really have crafted for themselves in a way that they can't imagine doing anything different. Like, this is their entire purpose. And I think for people who aren't doing that, that's a really big paradigm shift.
yeah.
Realize, like, wow, I really could do something that I love.
Well, the weird thing there is that, yeah, I get those moments sometimes. And okay, sometimes you have days where you're not earning too much, otherwise, times you're earning a lot more than you think. You're like, Jesus, people really want to come to these things that I'm doing. And I don't think I'm doing anything special, whatever, because it's something natural, you're just being
Sure.
you. And it also includes your flaws. That's what I've learned in the last couple of years. Your flaws are what the things that people like you for,
Yeah.
which is a weird thing, but it truly is. And then if you show that, there's a vulnerability, because that's what I like in other people. There's a
Yeah.
guy here who does stuff, and he's really interesting. He's got many different talents, but he's purely him. So the people are drawn to that. It's not like an official class. It's just these different things thrown in, and you got to admire that, man. I
Yeah.
like other people.
Well, it's celebrating who you are at your core, right? And in an unashamed way. I think that that's really key to choosing passion work.
Yeah, yeah, an unashamed way. It's true. Yeah, be as weird as you can.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So give
Is
me
that
3 words that, speaking of that, give me 3 words that embody you and your business.
okay? I've been writing words recently. So me and my
Top
business, 3
3.
words: enthusiastic, energetic, and emotional.
Perfect. I love it.
Yeah, I think that
And
covers
that's
me in the book.
that's how you feel in this work and what you give to people, right?
Yeah, totally. It covers both. It's what I feel and it's what I want to give, and I think that's the business. Because if you can't be emotional in the end, then I don't think I'm doing it right. You know, there's got to be
Yeah.
something in there. Didn't realize I was going to go and see that thing or go to that place or feel that emotion. That's the kick I get, because I need to do it to myself. I need to be doing it for, and I have my little moments, like standing looking at the moon before. They're only little moments, but those things is what I rely on. You know, like
Yeah, definitely. I think that's the gift.
yeah.
Any last bits of advice you want to share with the world on your
From
journey?
perspective of the business and me and what I'm doing is I so it's been 2 years more or less, and then the last, let's say, year and 6 months I had this just wanting to travel. And what's happened was I would meet people. I say, Greg, do you remember at the beginning I did the first course with you, and then I met you here, you were saying you wanted to travel and do this soma method and things. Holy shit, yeah. I really had it in the back of my mind so much. And then with luckily a bit of passion and enough will to earn enough money, just enough to travel, and without like having to worry about every penny, but just enough. And underneath there's a passion which I didn't even know I have. So if you have to try too hard, I think maybe there's something not quite right. If you're doing, you've got to definitely have action. Like Tony Robbins says, action, loads of action. And it's
Yeah,
true. You can't just sit there and go, it will be nice if I go to the Maldives. You know, get off your fucking ass, buy a ticket and go to the Maldives.
sure.
Don't have a million times I've gone to a workshop not knowing. Remember the first time in your place, we didn't know if anyone was going to turn up, really. Little bits. And then it came with just such a lovely week. And the same last time as well. Just enough people to come to form a workshop to make it happen. So you don't know, but without a doubt, you've got to put a lot of action to what you're doing if you just feel like it's right for you. And I've had a few
Sure.
people at the beginning say, oh, you're not going to earn any money. It's not going to work. And luckily, I've had a few people give me some good advice on the road. You know?
Yeah, I would say I had about 20 friends tell me that there was no reason to open a storefront and that I would go under within my first year. Like people even vocalized that to me. So, I mean, it's a truth that we all hear from lots of critics, and sometimes that is accurate. And I can often be the bad cop with my clients too. So I know how that goes. But
It also,
I do believe like action and ease at the same time, because yes, you have to take action for what you're manifesting, but it does need to be easy, because when you're going up against a wall and it's such a challenge, to me, that's always a sign that it's not the right path for me.
okay, yeah, I'll use that with you then, because I've seen you on both sides. I've seen you on the business side and like around the shop, kind of
Sure.
not stressed, but like busy and
Yeah.
working and worried, but not like to an extreme. And then
Yeah.
I've seen you in the place you are, and with all the people coming and going, and you're just totally natural. It's like you're working, but you're relaxed and happy as well as busy, and maybe there's underlying stress that I don't know. But
Oh yeah.
enjoying it. I see you enjoying it, and you're
Yeah.
there. I've seen the two sides, and like you seem to really enjoy it as well, just being around those
Yeah.
people.
And you have to. If I didn't ever feel like that, I would know that this isn't the right space for me. So,
Yeah,
and that's been
yeah,
all along. And I can tell that with you too. So,
yeah. Yeah, that's true.
anything else you want to throw in?
I don't know. So many words of wisdom and weirdness. Oh yeah, just be fucking mad as well. Be prepared to be mad, whatever that is. People think
Perfect.
I'm not. It's just like some energetic force. You can sleep, you can be relaxed, but give some welly to it, man. You know,
Perfect.
that's what I would do, and I do.
I love it. I'm gonna link your new audio file to this. And thanks for hopping on, Greg. I know it's super
Thank you
late
so
there,
much.
so go to
Yeah,
bed.
thanks for inviting me. I'm doing my podcast, so I'm gonna invite you. I'm gonna
Okay,
talk about
perfect. I love it.
the deal.
Talk to you soon.
Take care, mate. Thanks a lot.
Bye.
Ciao. Bye bye.